They're the worst.
Hello and welcome to The Worst Critics. As always, I'm Noah Davis.
I'm John Pino.
And we are here to talk about the second and third part of Cyber City Oedo 8. The more I thought about the title, the more I wanted to say it, because it's clearly kind of, not a pun, but you know,
right.
a rhyme.
A little fun wordplay thing.
I mean, it really is. 080808. It's great. Yes. Data 2, big picture?
I mean, you know, it's hard now, having watched the third one, to give an exact big picture of number 2, but just as a big picture for the show, I mean, damn, is it cool, engaging, pretty, and just like awesome. Like, I can see this being something I turn on regularly just to have something cool in the background.
I mean, yeah, the cool factor is off the charts, for sure. But thoughts on Data 2, or no, you're just going to leave it at that?
No, that's my big picture. You can hit a big picture if you want.
Yeah, big picture. I really think the art direction excelled in this one. Not saying it's bad in any way in the other two, but I think for this one, it just kind of peaked. Their use of coloring and all that, and just the animation and a lot of the shots they used. And this one is, like I predicted, this one's more about Gogol, and then the third one, spoiler, is about Benton. But this one is more about Gogol, and we get some Sengoku and Benton, but not a ton, so we actually get to kind of dive into his character and his place in this kind of fucked up world. But like you said, the awesome vibes are to the max, pretty much. I mean, it's hard to get much cooler than this OVA. And that's, just a testament to the OVA itself. Positives, or maybe we should go through the plot a little bit?
I mean, etc. first. I don't remember if you said it on recording, but I'm going to give you street cred for it. You did call how they were going to lay this out. Each episode was going to follow one character.
I think I said it. Maybe. I don't know if I actually said it in the episode or not. But yeah, I did call it. Thank you very much. But so plot, a little bit of plot. Basically, a super cyborg is killing some people, and Gogol is sent on the case, or actually, all three of them are sort of sent on the case, and then it turns out that the army is trying to create a super weapon, and Gogol is tasked with killing it. That's basically the short of it.
Yeah, but, I mean, they do this one, I think, better than the first one, in the sense that it's clear they're all sort of on similar missions, and it all ties into one big mission.
Yeah.
But it's through the eyes of Gogol, as opposed to Sengoku's, which is just like, the other two are just sort of helping in the background, sort of indiscriminately. This one, they clearly had, like, related assignments and were more involved, I feel like, than in episode 1.
Yeah, they definitely felt more like a team rather than just 3 individual criminal cops. But positives?
Yeah, I mean, hard to pin very, very specific points that aren't ones we've already beaten to death, but I will go to the moments that highlight these points. Obviously the art,
that's fair.
The cool factor, the cyberpunkness of it all. Like, we could say that indefinitely and never be wrong, but I loved the, you got 8 hours, I kill you thing with the whole blow up on the like, it's always the threat of death, like, I'm just going to eliminate you because you're a criminal, or you can do this task for me thing. Like, that element in the background still keeps it leveled up the whole time in this episode specifically.
I'm just going to add a little to that. I actually really like that Gogol seems to not give a shit. Like,
oh, yeah. He was ready to die like 3 different points in the episode.
Yeah.
Someone else just decided to not kill him for some other reason.
Yeah, he gets a timer, and he basically just doesn't care. I mean, he says something quick and then just moves on, do the mission, and that's just kind of presents him as the hard ass.
And, his ex-partner is like, yeah, I got to kill you. I got these other people, who I'm now with in the military.
Yeah.
But I can't kill you. And then, he just, like, doesn't die. 3 different moments like this.
Yeah, he just says, oh, that sucks. I wish they were different.
Yeah,
my bad.
So it is. This is my life, I guess. pull the trigger.
Yeah, he's got a matter of factness. That's great.
Yeah, yeah, and of course, badass.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we could literally say that constantly about almost every single scene in this episode. It's constant
And I
badassery.
will.
I
Um,
mean, feel
you
free.
know, I don't want to skip ahead too much, but there's the basic plot points and beats of investigation and copying and the
Yes.
usual suspects. You know, they do some cool sci-fi cyberpunk things with all the digital data displays and their little robot sidekick and the usual things. But I will say the car chasing was a little anticlimactic for what I was expecting from this show. I mean, it's fine and serviceable, but just a big like exhaust fume derails all the cars, and then that's like they're part of it and they know that he's now going to meet the cyborg. It just felt a little meh.
See, I just kind of saw it as a stepping stone to the real climax, so I didn't really mind. But yeah, I can definitely see what you're saying.
And then
Um,
of course we have plenty to talk about with the real climax, but I don't want to jump there if you have other beats
Oh yeah,
before
yeah,
that.
I got a bit. So as I was saying in the beginning with the art direction, there are 3 or 4 very distinct scenes where they do this cool monochrome. At the beginning, it's all yellow. Then they do a blue. Then later they do, I think, an orange and then a red, and it just looks so good. It's hard not to look at because it looks so good. Uh,
Yeah.
and like I said, the animation, there were just you don't really even think about it these days, but there were a lot of shots that were rotating characters or rotating vehicles, and that's just not really done these days. That's usually, CGI'd mode of transportation, or they'll either just not show it whatsoever. So it's really cool to just see this old technique that probably was pretty standard once upon a time that now has just disappeared basically. So it's really cool literally just to see a soldier turn around, but in one shot. It looks fantastic. Um, and then I'll add the I don't know the word, the setup for the cyborg kind of showing off his power, the force psycho powers was awesome. The force splatter for that first guy just looked dope. Then what? Oh yeah, and like you said, the his ex partner, I liked their dynamic. I don't know if I absolutely loved it because it's so short, but the shot where she is literally aiming her pistol from the cab of the truck just looks so cool, even though nothing came of it. It's just, again, it's just one of those cool factors that puts this show above a lot of others because literally it feels as though every second is just seeping with coolness.
Yeah. It's one of my, again, big picture, not necessarily for this specific episode comments, but what a letdown that these are some of the first anime I'm actually watching because how does it get better than this?
I'm gonna spoil something for you. Sometimes it doesn't. A lot of the
I
time
know.
it
I know.
doesn't.
I was just saying, like, we sort of pulled this one out of a vat, if you will, and we hit a fucking winner.
To be fair, OVAs usually, not all the time, usually have a bigger budget because they're so concentrated and short. So literally every scene and every episode is going to have a bigger budget than, say, a 13 episode or a 26 episode show. Or maybe not a bigger budget per se, but a bigger budget for the minutes, you know?
Right. Yeah, each episode has a lot more money dedicated to it.
So if you really wanted to compare these, it'd probably be best to watch a movie. So Cowboy Bebop, obviously classic, great. But the Cowboy Bebop movie looks so much better than the show. I mean, it looks fantastic. The movie is awesome just looking. So that's kind of the same kind of thing. OVA's, I guess, in the middle. So,
Right.
yeah, it doesn't really get a ton better. I can definitely suggest some cyberpunk anime, but I won't say they're a ton cooler. You know?
I mean, this is off the charts cool. This is
Yeah.
truly turn the amp to 11 levels of
Yeah, I could give you a handful that even compete. Other than that, though, Not really. Not really. But yeah, do you have any more beats or positives? I have a few more, but just wanted to share.
I mean, just obviously the climax that I want to get into, but you keep going until we get there. You can go
Okay.
chronologically. It's fine.
Oh, also just a random etc. Was the woman's name Sarah or Cyril?
I thought it was. Wait, which woman? His partner?
His ex partner. Yeah, yeah.
Wasn't it Sarah?
I mean, I thought he said Sarah, but there were times where it sounded like Cyril, so I wasn't really
Thought it
sure.
was Sarah, but you know what? There's a way I can check, and I just need you to fill in the time with other things you were talking
Yeah,
about.
I can do that. So this episode actually presented Kasagawa with more personality when he kind of interrupted the climax. I won't go into very specifics yet, but when he interrupted the climax and he was kind of defending his team, or even before the climax, when he was talking to the military general, whatever this guy was, he kind of defended Gogol and how good he was at his job, and that's just a kind of a cool mirror image of the guy who's literally threatening to kill the guy, but also has faith in his abilities and his skills. He's kind of a pragmatist, if you will. So it's kind of cool to get more of Kasagawa's personality.
That's true.
Did you figure it out?
Sarah.
Okay, okay. I just thought I misheard. I put Sarah or Cyril, so yeah, just misheard. But yeah, I like that we got, we have the main three characters and the sidekick robot whose name I forget. But
Yeah, I didn't write it down either.
yeah,
Something silly.
they say they say it a ton. I just totally blanked. But yeah, so it's cool to get an image of Kasagawa and his kind of place in this whole kind of messed up situation that they're all four in, really.
Varsus?
Is that his name? Varsus?
I think so. It's from the
Sure.
wiki.
Okay, yeah, Varsus. That doesn't. Why does that not sound familiar? Do they say it differently?
Maybe.
I don't. Just doesn't sound
I
that
can also
familiar.
fact check that. Just give me a sec.
I also want to say that while this episode had the cursing, I don't think it was near as bad
Oh
or
no 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 no
flagrant.
no no! This one was tasteful in some ways. Like, yes, there was the regular or irregular shitbag or something like this, but
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, it was done and felt on brand for the characters. And there was way better writing in this one.
Yeah. I also I liked the sidekick robot saying how fuck off wasn't appropriate because fuck is a form of copulation and the copulation off doesn't make sense. I love that. Also the line eat this dick splash, that's a new one. Really like that. Gonna try and fit that in somewhere in real life, just you gotta put some pizzazz into it. But yeah, I or up your sphincter, that was good too, instead of just asshole. That was,
Yeah, yeah. He's like, I'm gonna shove his head up your ass, and he's like, well, no, I'll actually probably return his head up your
of
sphincter or
your
whatever.
sphincter.
Yeah.
That's good variation. So yeah, we had a complaint with the first episode where it's just egregious is the only word for it. But yeah, it was somewhat tasteful in this one. Did you figure out the robot's name?
Um, the three scenes I was recalling immediately that they asked the robot to do something, they don't actually say the name.
Oh, well,
So let me. I'm still searching.
you could look up that scene near the beginning where Sengoku's going underwater when he tells him to fuck off. I think he says the robot's name. Maybe not though. I could be wrong. But yeah,
Nope,
I
it's
will.
Varsus. It's Varsus. It's
Huh?
Varsus.
Sure. All right,
Record the sound
Marcus.
at the end of the last episode.
Yeah, and I will. Oh. Well, we're getting to the end. Really? Do you have points on the end? Because I have some.
I mean, the climax, yeah, the fight,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, bro. I mean, probably one of the cooler fight scenes I've seen. Just period.
I mean, yeah. No, it looks awesome.
Like not in anime, just TV. Cool, 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 cool. Like not only is obviously his like character design already cool, but the progressive him getting beaten up and actually looking like shit and like he's not gonna get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
The stakes felt real just from like a true like artist take on what's happening as it's each different things happening. There's also the mechanisms of the fight, like how he's turning it around and he gets Varsus to like record the high tone Sonic thing. He's flying the fucking helicopter. I mean, there's like so much
Yeah,
nuance to each of the modes in which they level up the fighting. He's like shooting missiles at it, and then he just like is beating the big fucking hammer against the or the what
it's just
piece
a
of
steel
metal?
beam, just a steel
Shrapnel,
beam.
sure, yeah. Um, against the tower, and the way they do that, where he's like blacked out, and just the neck
Mm-hmm.
light has a little bit, to keep the stakes still present. I mean, there's so many cool artistic choices that they make. It's
Yeah,
just badass.
and you can see him struggle with the steel beam. He's not just lifting it
Right, like
up and
roided
throwing
out,
it. Yeah.
super not tired, just full strength in it.
And I love how that showcased more of his actual intuition or ingenuity, that he could figure out that some sort of sonar or sound could affect the robot. Because really, a lot of the times we've just seen him on a computer just doing stuff,
Right,
typing
hacking
stuff.
into the
Yeah.
mainframe.
So it's cool to see his actual kind of real life.
Right, like reasoning and logic and
Yes,
intelligence.
exactly. Yeah, and I will say, oh, I missed out on saying how cool when Benton and Sengoku get caught in the military facility and they turn off the lights.
Yeah, they
That was
detonate the bombs to make everything black out.
Yeah, that was so cool. Looked so good. The harsh shading, and then Benton cutting a dude's arm and then a dude's head off with his cyber wire thing. Just
Yeah.
awesome all the way.
Yeah, they do it multiple times in this episode and the next. I didn't really notice it that much in the first because there just wasn't that much fighting, obviously, but their display of cutting things, whether it's other robotics, the guns,
hmm
people, the clean slicing, I usually think is a little lame, but in this sort of futuristic rendition of, swords and mech and equipment, it just is cool. It's just so cool to see it perfectly sliced.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, super cool. No notes really on any of that. The laser filament, I think, is what Cyberpunk uses, and they clearly ripped it from this. Or Cyberpunk ripped it from Johnny Mnemonic, and Johnny Mnemonic clearly ripped it from this. One of them totally ripped it from
This is
this.
the progenitor, and
I,
all other things come from it.
it had to be, because I can't even think of a Cyberpunk thing before this that also had laser wire or super wire. And then yeah, back to the climax. We had the awesome tower fight. Then we had the three kind of working together a little bit, but then Gogol just says, "Nah, I got this," which was
Yep.
awesome. Again, cool factor to the max. And then we had the resolution, which was such a cool death scene or kill
Oh,
scene.
dude. Yeah, the hand getting
Mm-hmm.
thrown through the throat. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I think that's just an absolutely perfect way to end a fight such as that, where, the guy has the gun and kind of a standoff, and luckily he shoots goggles, kind of weird to say, shoots his goggles and it just bounces off and he gets the hand thrown in his throat, which I think is kind of, I don't want to say symbolic, but it's cool they just kind of shut him up, you know? But yeah, I think that's about it. Do you have any negatives or etc.?
Literally just the one, and it's such bullshit. I was really fishing for something. But immediately after the death scene where the boss and the military guy are like, "Hey, I finally got you. Now you can turn yourself in, or I can come have my men come to get you, but either way I'll be seeing you soon."
Yeah.
The thing that he starts that conversation off with is, "Well, it looks like your man's gone," but he's in the same viewpoint as the commander, right? He's like in that watchtower, like far away.
Uh huh.
But neither of them have like cybernetic eyes or magnifying glasses. There's no digital display. It's just a big window that they're watching it from.
Yeah.
Could you really see from that far away what actually happened?
I don't think so, but I didn't even
So
think about that.
that's where I was like, I mean, it's cool that he knows everything as it happens, but also This one just felt like, how would you know that that guy died? Like, he didn't keel over. Like, some very small object from this far away, like an ant-sized thing
Right.
moved whatever 3 millimeters distance away, and the guy remained standing. It's like, how did you know he got? It's like saying like you saw the guy pull the gun and fire. Like, there's no big puff of smoke with cybernetics guns, and there's not a big bullet hole that you would be able to visualize from this far away. So let alone a hand being thrown at a guy's throat. Like, you're just not seeing that from this far, I don't think.
Yeah, and well, didn't they have some sort of cameras? They weren't looking at it, obviously, at the time that you're speaking about. But didn't they have a camera system to watch Gogol?
Um,
They didn't they explicitly have camera set up?
I mean, again, maybe his men do, but that's the screenshot.
No. Yeah. I'm just saying they aren't looking at it, but right before he gets, involved, right before Gogol gets involved with the Molkos, I believe there's a camera and he looks at it. He's like, something badass.
Yeah, some zinger.
Yeah. uh yeah, so my only negative, if you can even call it a negative, is that Molkos is the dumbest name and dumbest acronym. Did you read the
Oh, yeah.
acronym?
Oh, I paused it, and
Me too.
I was upset that I paused it.
Maintain of law citizenic. Is that what it said? Citizenic?
I thought it was more like it was trying to be cybernetic, but it wasn't,
But it
is how
didn't.
I was
Yeah.
reading it. I know it didn't, but it was some word like that. Yeah, and it just felt
Citizetic. Maintain of law
translation bad.
citizetic organism suave.
Yeah, it just felt translation bad.
What is that even? What's a suave? Is that a thing? Is that a person? I don't know what a suave is. I just
Wasn't
don't
it
know.
wasn't it swath? Like
Oh,
SAUTH?
it could have been. I could have sworn I saw suave. Either way, it's not much better. I just don't understand why that's the acronym when you could have made it up, you know? What
Agreed
is
completely.
Molkos? What, that's not a I don't think that's a word. I don't think it's any sort of representation of, mythology or something. Like, if they had an atlas and then they did
Here it is.
ATLAS.
Yeah, cybernetic or cybernetic organism swath.
Suave. Gotcha. I
SUATH.
wrote suave. That doesn't help, but I just I don't know. Is Molkos a Japanese word or some sort of reference? Because again, if it were called, Titan and they did Titan, that would make perfect sense to me. But not only is it gibberish, it's also gibberish.
Yeah, yeah, it's double gibberish. They
Yeah.
doubled down.
So yeah, that's really my only complaint of this whole episode.
Yeah, I
Um,
didn't write it down, but I had forgotten that I hated that. So thank you for reminding me.
yeah, you're welcome, Dick Splash.
Yeah.
All right,
Up your sphincter, bucko.
on to data 3. Let me flip my page without it being loud on the mic.
Yeah, Crimson Medium.
Oh, do they have actual titles? Because it's in Japanese, I didn't realize.
Yeah, I mean, I'll read you what Wiki translated as, and then I'll read you what I think the translation should be. Memories of the past, but I think the better translation is ancient memories. That's number one.
Oh, okay.
Number two, the decoy program, which functionally is, I think, just decoy program either way, but still not very good, and I'm sure is better in whatever the real Japanese would be.
It also doesn't make sense to me because was there ever a decoy in the whole episode?
No, that's why I'm thinking like decoy is wrongly like cyborg. Like
Oh,
it's
okay.
probably clear that it's cyborg and it's decoy because it's like not human and whatever.
Sure. Okay. And the third one?
And then Crimson Media, but really Crimson Medium, I think.
That makes way more sense because no one says media for multiple psychic mediums. Actually, medium doesn't even work either.
Yeah. But alas, Crimson
Oh,
Media.
okay. On to 080808 data 3. Big picture?
Um I wasn't sure what I was expecting with the Benton episode,
Mm-hmm.
and it still somehow over delivered.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I was kind of expecting something more subdued than this.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And they did
Spoilers. Oh,
they
yeah.
they did they did the pretty boy thing. They somehow got vampires into it. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they really leveled it up in a way that each character's episode not only thematically made sense for the character, but somehow were also like visual representations of what we thought they might be. Like the cyborg guy fights a cyborg thing, the
Right.
cool badass guy fights a cool badass thing.
True.
You know, the pretty boy guy fights what functionally
Vampire
is
thing.
one of the ugliest things that could be, that gets, turned super youthful and has all this like elements of beauty and age and youth like wrapped up into it. Like
Mm-hmm.
just
Yeah,
yeah,
even the character design seems to have influenced the actual events, which is
yeah,
wild. I don't know if
yeah.
anyone even
There's a
thinks of that.
four-letter word that starts with a C. I don't want to say again, but I'll let you fill it in.
Cool. But yeah, big picture, and I'll go into the plot a little. Really cool in its own way, maybe not as head on as the second one, but still had this air of intrigue and kind of mystique about it. And obviously we got to see more Ben 10. Also, his name is Ben 10, not just Benton. Did you know that?
Yeah, like Benten.
Yeah, hyphen ten. So I don't
Oh, I didn't
know.
even notice the hyphen.
Yeah, it's in the theme sequence. It does.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Because in
Oh,
the wiki it's written Benton.
right.
Just
And Gogol is GO:GL in the theme
right,
sequence. So maybe that's why they say Gogol.
right. Instead of goggle, even though
Yeah.
it's definitely goggle.
But I don't know why they would say Ben instead of Ben 10 when it's clearly the same deal. Whatever.
we
Doesn't
we've
matter.
we've been over this a million times. The translators have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah, but that's the big picture. And then the plot is basically Ben is basically a detective version of Alucard from Castlevania or Van Helsing, whatever vampire hunter story you want to put into this. And it's really cool.
Yeah.
But
Shocker. The show
yeah,
stays cool.
but we'll just get into the positives.
I mean, well, just for just a little bit more plot, like,
Oh yeah, go for
the
it.
whole there's some murders of some scientists, geneticists, doctors, kind of vague, but people. Uh, and more or less, the baddie is trying to become immortal and through the means of being a vampire. And so he has to, basically save a young woman and obviously fight the vampire, uh, and stays cool the whole time.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm just going to go into it a little bit. Not only is it a cool twist on vampirism because cyborg stuff and future
Hmm.
stuff, which I didn't expect at all.
Future.
Yeah. But it's also a cool twist on vampirism as a mythology where, the lady or the woman is usually, seduced by the vampire, whereas this is kind of flips it on its head, where the man, the big brooding evil guy has to get his hands on the woman to become that, not the other way around. So I just think that's
Right.
a cool twist on just vampirism itself, not just cyber vampirism. But
And,
mhm.
there's several other cool things too, just like asides before we really deep dive into the big plot points and cool stuff. I feel like this episode, even more than the other ones, really lent itself to what I think, quote unquote, the show is, wherein I mean, you really got to see the Cyber City in multiple ways.
Yeah, all the kind
The
of neighborhoods and districts. Yeah.
Yep, like that weird, short guy that he interacts with for like a scene, the short
hmm
old dude. Um, but then, immediately after when he's like going to meet the head doctor criminal guy, and you get like that big overarching span of like the intricate highway system, and he like types into his nav system and the car just sort of floats its way there. The like big jet tube elevator up into the sky to go see the cryogenics chambers. Like, there's just so much future stuff
Yeah,
built into this episode that you didn't
great
even
for
have to
world
have them
building.
talk.
Hmm.
Yes, you didn't have to have them talk. It was just visually world built, and it was awesome.
Yeah, and even I mean, a little specific when he's quote unquote captured by that kind of gang of hooligans. I
Mhm.
mean, that kind of adds this whole there's kind of I don't know places within the city that are just basically lawless. Which is kind of cool to think about that, yeah, they do have these super robots, do have this cool cybernetics, but there's still going to be places that, cops don't really go to.
Yeah.
Positives?
I mean,
I mean, unless you want
this
to add
one
more big picture, you can go for it.
no, 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 I was just saying this one, I didn't really have that many specific positives, again, that we didn't basically already touch on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really hit the art on this one, I think, for me, was the best of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and again, only because it was so on theme with both the world building of the show and again, that, like, for lack of a better word, like, that prettiness that is Benton's character. They really try to do a lot of pretty stuff with, like, the little animation effects with the rose petals even at the very end, like, just so many different little things that they went, like, above and beyond for that they didn't necessarily have to do, but really leveled this one up. But besides that, everything else was fine. This wasn't a bad episode by any means, but it wasn't, it didn't have specific talking points for me.
I got a few I think we could make some conversation with. I enjoy that this one was an actual investigation because we've
That's
gotten
fair.
very little of that. I mean, yes,
Right.
they all three were investigating in the second one, but this one, even though the answer was very apparent or readily apparent, I mean, he still had to unravel the mystery of what was going on, and he had to talk to multiple witnesses, had to talk to people who knew the victims, had to talk to their old bosses. I mean, it was actually being a police officer as opposed to just being a badass cyber cop. And I mean, obviously I really enjoyed some of the cursing in this one. I
Yeah.
I think is even more subdued, but when he's talking to Sengoku about vampires, did you remember that line?
No, not specifically.
And I quote, Benton says, you wouldn't know a vampire if it bit you on the end of your fucking dick. I just
Yeah,
that one
that's pretty
got
good.
me good. But yeah, like I said, I enjoy that there's this actual procedural or I don't know the word. I don't want to say investigative again, but basically loops around to there. Also, I enjoy the bounty hunter. That's I guess she was hired by the old guy, the health executive, the cryo executive dude. I loved her design, just screamed 80s with the half pants and then the
Yep.
big one shoulder pauldron and the short hair. And then they had the duel in the tunnel. I mean, the more I talk about this episode, the cooler I actually think it is.
Yeah, no, it's a very cool episode.
It's just coming off the second one where it was so in your face the whole time. This one was a little more laid back, which isn't bad.
Right. Well, I think it goes to your point of this one feels like a sort of detective mystery. Episodes 1 and 2 feel more like classic sort of action movie in both like theme and direction. So when
Yeah,
we say
for
this
sure.
one's subdued, I think that's the intent behind it is it's a little bit less like over the top action and every action has a consequence. This is more like we're finding out the pieces of the puzzle alongside the protagonist and then boom, big reveal, big fight.
Yeah, it gives a more somber feel. But also just to mention some cool designs, the saber-tooth tigers that I wrote down cyber-tooth tigers because it's right
Yep,
there.
that's right
Uh,
there.
those were awesome. I don't know why they were there, but still sick.
Cryogenics, Noah. They've been frozen in time and updated by tech. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, I guess. But I also enjoyed that. I like how they kind of tied the psi that they get, the projectile psi with the wire. I love how they tied it in with the plot because, the first episode had the one attack with the cyber psi thing, and that was kind of it. Then the second episode, they showed it to prove that he's a cop. But then this third episode, they actually kind of made use of it where Gogol puts the vaccine within the psi, and that's
Right.
just it had a nice tie off with the, or a nice kind of actual device for the plot, or a plot device, if you will. Um,
If you will,
yeah, if you
and I
will.
will.
And then of course the big fight in the or after the space elevator in just in space on the space station was really sick. It really just reminded me of Castlevania, because I mean, how's it not going to? And yeah, no, it was a great episode. You want to add any more?
I don't have any more positives, but I can hit the big negative.
I'll hit a few more. I love the space vacuum death and resurrection. I think that was really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's badass. It's badass.
Where Vampire Man just literally gets splattered, but then his pieces start teleporting, and Benton realizes what's going on and has to run back to the main big room, whatever that room was. And then I really enjoyed when the vampire finally gets killed for real, how he kind of burns to death from the vaccine. I think that's an
Right.
awesome nod to vampires again.
The sunlight burn, but aging and
Yeah, it's just such a cool. I mean, it's cool that they were able to reference just vampirism, but within the confines of this super future weird world where teleporting and psychic powers are a thing, I guess. Um, yeah, I got some negatives, just a couple negatives, but I think that's all my positives.
well, one small negative, now that you reminded me about the space death,
Hmm.
is relative to the other episodes. The first episode they're also in space for a bit. Um and people don't have a space death like that, and they totally should. So I was a little confused about how they were like working, a space station has a window blown out or something like this, and suddenly it's not like a huge vacuum of space sucking everything out and destroying everything like in an instant. Whereas obviously that did happen, and there was some, plot relief for Benton to like having been in the big room, he was sort of safe away from it, but
Were they in space, if you will, in the first episode,
I
or just
thought they
really
were.
high up?
No, I thought they were in space.
I really think they
Because it
were
was like
just
in
really
like a
high up.
satellite thing was where the guy was, right? It's like a
There was a satellite thing, wasn't there? I don't know. Maybe it's just convenient for the plot.
yeah, I thought it was space, but I didn't bring it up because I just thought whatever, man, it's fucking the future. But now they did it, so then I was like, wait.
Might have to rewatch just the parts of the first episode just to see what's up with that. I didn't even notice. Really didn't even care. Just because again, the show makes up for any of the dumb mistakes most of the time. Any more negatives?
I mean, the big one has to be said, but
Mm-hmm.
what a letdown that each episode is so cool,
Mm-hmm.
and then it just ends.
Yes, definitely the biggest negative. There is in no way, shape, or form an actual conclusion to the cyber police suicide squad. There's nothing hinting at, oh, they got the collars off, oh, they didn't get the collars off. There's nothing about Kasagawa. There's just absolutely nothing. It just kind of rolls credits, and I was
Yeah,
super bummed.
yeah. And right before that, another negative. He
Hmm.
just randomly kisses this lady.
Yeah, they're in love.
Were they? What
Yeah.
evidence of love
He
existed
saved
before that?
her, bro.
Yeah, this
That's
show just
all you
didn't feel like that
need.
kind of show. Is why I was
That's
confused by
all
this.
you need.
This didn't feel like, "Oh, here's what we needed: an unasked for romance between the protagonist and the person they save."
I mean, have
This
you
is
seen Benton, bro, with his David Bowie haircut and red lipstick? I mean, come on, bro.
big long nails. Yeah, I
Yeah, big
mean,
painted nails. Have you seen Benton?
I'm
Swoon.
not I'm not saying people couldn't be swooned. I'm saying there's no need for this lady to be swooned. She's about to die. She
Well,
got bigger fish to think about.
that's also, I'm gonna add my little negative. So she is frozen and put in a pod and just sent out to space, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Wouldn't she just end up in a certain, celestial body's gravitational pull and come crashing down and just be living alone forever?
I don't think so because at some point, basically, whatever little motion was moving her, like it just stops, and so she's like in a big enough vacuum, like she won't be moving.
Oh, okay. But what if she did just happen to?
I mean, theoretically, sure, she could. I think the capsule deteriorates and she just like has a random space death before that. But yeah, sure, she could get in orbit by some
Well, she
celestial
can't die,
body.
so she's just gonna be tortured for a billion years.
I mean, she can die. We proved that.
Well, she didn't have the vaccine,
Still,
so she can't die.
but she can.
She doesn't have the vaccine.
How's she going to regenerate in space? The guy got to regenerate because he was in the place.
I mean, he could just, but he was still alive. He could teleport his fucking pieces of skin, meaning he has some sentience.
I'm saying, where is she going to recreate them? Like, she doesn't have
She
like
can't. That's what I'm
oxygen
saying.
and.
It's unlimited torture.
I don't.
She's
I
just
think she just
always going
dies.
to be just shards of
Dying.
per
She's
person.
always going to be dying.
No, they should have just buried her. Um,
Dude, she could have just been the love interest. The show didn't end, so why couldn't she just be his
that's
freaking
true
plus
too.
one?
They could have
You know,
just gotten
she's waiting
together.
for him back home at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's actually fair.
And
Didn't
it's not
really
like,
think
you know,
about it.
if he has to serve a 200-year sentence wearing that stupid death car, it's not like she has anywhere to go.
Oh man, now that would have been a better ending. Somehow he gets the vampirism and lives out he actually lives out his sentence. Damn, that would have been better. Okay. I mean, the space death or whatever, that's symbolic, but that would have been better. So I think unless you have any more et ceteras,
I got nothing.
I think it's time to answer the age-old question of OVA or no OVA.
I mean, this has to be OVA because I'm certain that it is unlikely we watch anything better than this one.
I love how we just have this pattern because reboot or deboot, we did Ikaru and Living.
Yep.
So we just have this
we,
pattern of coming
we
out the
pull the
gates
best.
real
Yep.
hot.
Yep, the big guns go first, and then we're like, "Shit, sir, that was our last nuke." Well, just throw the spoons,
Yeah.
you know.
Until we get kind of a hint of a good one, maybe down the line. But yeah, I think it's certified OVA. And join us next week or next time whenever we upload. Hopefully next week when we watch Writing Bean and then the first OVA episode of Gunsmith Cats. Until then, we're out of here.
Peace.
They're the worst.